I am going to start getting into the Automoto so that I can put on my new air intake system and my my new jet for my carburetor. First of all, let's go ahead and take a look at our situation as far as taking the rear engine plastic body part off, and then in order to really get to the current air intake box, we're going to have to take off the frame that holds that body part as well. So let's see what we're looking at. Okay, so the screws that need to come out are these two here, that there and that there, and then we've got this one here. Then you come back around here, you have to take off the two screws back here that are on the holder for the license plate, and then you got the similar screws that are on the other side, that one there, and then that one and that one there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll get this cover off. One of the things I always do is keep a little parts tin to keep all my parts in. You could just reach underneath this cover and pull just the frame and everything right off. Some of the screws are easily accessible, some of them aren't. So I actually prefer to just pull this cover off so that I can just get to everything. It's only a few screws and it sure makes the job a lot easier. Just so you know, to do that part you're going to need a 12 and 10 millimeter wrenches or sockets or whatever you got. I really like these because they're pretty quick at it. So that's that. Some of the rubber gaskets on the back for the license plate want to come off, so don't lose them. But the rest of these rubber things that help with vibration stay in place. So now we're down to our frame. So the frame has like 4 main bolts. This one here, which is just screwed into the frame of the Automoto, and then this one right in here that also holds on the muffler, and it actually is a through bolt, same with the one on the other side here. And then if I remember correctly, the other one is a hex that goes into the frame as well. Okay, this is a 5/16 hex wrench, just so you know. So this is also a through bolt. And there's some washers on the back. They should drop down into a place where you can get them. So now what we need to do is get up in here, and we gotta undo these 3 nuts. They're 10s, I think, to remove the air box from the frame, and then the frame should come right out. And really, I mean, at this point you could probably just disconnect the air box and pull the air box out. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is there's a screw right there that allows me to loosen up the seal around the carburetor to airbox connection. So now that that's loose, this should all work out. I'll loosen it a little bit more here. Again, sorry about the shaky camera work. So now I got that loose. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off there, and then get some more of this stuff out of my way here. So there's a few hoses you're going to need to disconnect here. So this hose comes out of the rear differential. Okay. And then, let's see. Oh, I'll come around over here. This hose right here that hose right there comes from what I think is almost like this little like catalytic converter thing that's attached to the thing to the exhaust for some emissions control. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to remove that from the airbox as well. Now I'm going to try to connect that back up with my new air system. So alright, so now that I got that all disconnected, I'm going to go ahead and lift the frame out. So that's the frame there. I'm going to go ahead and pull this air box out of here. It has one more hose attached to it, which is coming from like the crankcase, basically the valves. It's like your PCV. I'm going to disconnect that. Okay. So that's the old airbox. Now I'm going to replace this airbox with a UNI air filter, which I'll show you later. But that's pretty much the deal. This, I'm going to breather, which comes to that catalytic converter, I'm going to try to get hooked back up. I'm going to tap the velocity air stack that I have that goes on here. I'm going to actually try to hook both of these back into the velocity air stack and then put my other little filter thing on this differential for the breather there. Part of these are that's hot air that's coming back to your carburetor, which helps with combustion and the like.